Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Blue Army Podcast, episode 30. And in this episode, we are going to be discussing quite a lot of topics here on episode 30. So sit back and relax because this episode is going to be maybe at least 2 hours long. So I am going to try my best to get through this as fast as possible. And if you guys do enjoy this podcast, and if you do want to share it around to the other Parramatta fans on this Parramatta community, please make sure share it and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also make sure to like this episode here as well. And obviously, if you are listening to this on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts itself, please make sure to share it on all of our socials, especially on TikTok and also on Instagram as well. So thank you so much for supporting the podcast itself, and I do appreciate if you can share this podcast around to spread the message around everywhere to all other Paramount fans, and to get other Paramount podcasters out there to get our attention as well for this season in 2026. Thank you so much, and let's get into episode 30 of the Blue Army podcast itself. So, starting off here with our first ever topic here, it is rating our 2026 NRL draw by difficulty here. And if we go into my Instagram post here, I have posted up the rating difficulty for our 2026 draw. And obviously, for round one, I believe this is the toughest yet, since our record is very atrocious at Amy Park, and we haven't defeated the Melbourne Storm away since 2022, since we last gotten into the grand final. And I do believe that there is a big upset coming in, since the Melbourne Storm have lost all their big stars there. I know that they still have Karen Munster, Hughes, Harry Grant, who loves to score against Parramatta, but still with Elisa Cartel out for the rest of the season. I know that they have signed Jack Heverton, and I know that they have some still some elite backline players like Xavier Coates, Jack Horvath, which we will speak on the Zach Lomax situation with him. Unfortunately, later on in this episode, so I do stay around for that. But yes, I do see us getting a upset in round one, following on with our hardest ever match in 2026, as you can see over here. Round two will be very tough. Come up against the current premiers, the Brisbane Broncos. I do believe that they will get revenge against us, since we just managed to bail out there, or should I say, just managed to dodge a bullet there when every Brisbane fan thought that Reece Walsh did win the match there for the Brisbane Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. But that turned out to be wrong, since the bunker has reviewed it back, and it seems like that the Brisbane Broncos did actually manage to lose a game just. So I think the Broncos and Michael Maguire won't underestimate us this time, since on what happened last year, on a complete shock to them losing and still managing to win the premiership. So I do believe that the Broncos are going to maintain that momentum going on from 2026. Sorry, from 2025. So let's see on how that goes, and can Joan the Peasant perform well, not only against his former club, but also against his future club in the year time. and yeah, it's going to be quite interesting on how Joe Nepezet is going to go up against his two, well, his former club and then his future club. So yeah, quite quite an interesting and a coincidental start for us. So yeah, so we're going the Dragons at home, and the Dragons and Parramatta do have some tight and interesting head-to-head records at Combank Stadium. The Dragons can be a very unexpected side when visiting at Combank Stadium. You do expect Parramatta to smash a team like the Dragons, but however, they do come to Combank Stadium quite unexpected. It's kind of like on how Parramatta and the West Tigers games do go. Some of them does have the outcome of us with Mitchell Moses giving the West Tigers an absolute spanking. But then without Mitchell Moses and those key players who do just torture teams like the Dragons and the West Tigers, do manage to buy us back. And if Mitchell Moses can stay fit, hopefully for the first two rounds, which I do believe he will. I do believe that we will get through the Dragons by ease here. But you never know with the Dragons in the last previous meetings at Combank Stadium. You just never know. So yeah, 5.5. I think that's pretty fair. Uh, their full pack is much more younger than ours. I know that we're still having some issues with our full forward pack, but with their forward pack still being very young and still developing throughout time, I do believe that it's still going to be quite interesting on what Shane Flanagan is going to plan compared to last year when Zach Lomax did break the Saints' heart here, and maybe the Saints are going to do a little bit of a favour towards us for not signing Keon Kalamatangi. So, as I said before, you just never know with the Dragons. You just never know. But with the Panthers here, 7.5. I could have gone here by 8 or maybe a 9.5. But I mean, still, when it comes to the regular season, still at home, sorry, no, away. I think it is going to be very hard for us to come up against Nathan Cleary there. But I mean, you would think that we would get some revenge after losing against our former player there, Blaise Talangi there twice. So I think I think it is right for us to get our revenge against Blaise Talangi himself, and obviously Isaiah Papali himself. So yeah, but it's still going to be a very tough game. But I'm hoping that the crowd and the Swarm are going to get behind the players there to absolutely show on whose ground this truly is. And yeah, let's hope that this time we will get back to winning ways in the regular season against the Panthers. Now, speaking of that, after our horror start loss against the West Tigers last year, I am hoping that this time it's going to be the complete opposite. If it is, if it is going to be very hot on a Easter Monday, then I am hoping that our boys will not dehydrate ourselves, and that our defense can be stored there from Sam Moa himself, and that we can just get our forwards there to hold the ball this time and to also defend there as well. So yeah, well, let's hope that we don't make uh, a, a thousand errors this time against the West Tigers, especially in that high humid heat last season. So yeah, let's hope that that doesn't happen once again. All right, going against the Gold Coast Titans. I don't really need to say much too much about this match here. But Brian Kelly come up against his former side. I'm hoping that he is going to absolutely explode against his former club, similar to how Dylan Walker had some unfinished business against the Seagulls and also against the Warriors themselves, which he managed to do. So let's see on how this goes with Brian Kelly come up against his former side for the first ever time. So yeah, 5.5 against the Bulldogs at home. I think this time with the Bulldogs going backwards with Lock and Galvin. I know that they do have a very good hooker this time, uh, Bailey Haywood, and they obviously got a forward that we should have signed uh, last preseason. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting with the four pack there. Hopefully with a four pack there, fully fit with Bolo, Jack Williams, Jack DeBellin, and a lot of experience coming through there, along with some maybe younger back rows there, maybe to debut. Who knows with Jason Rolls' headache plans coming through during in round 7 against the Bulldogs at home. Let's see on how their four pack goes with the overrated back row there, William Kikau, come up against our combinations of back rowers there, Charlie Geimer, Jack Williams, and a bench there as well with Kit Kat, Matt Dory. Hopefully, Luca Moretti can be fully fit to get started for this game here. And let's see on how the Bulldogs can back up from for their win for humiliating us twice from last season, especially the game where Locke and Galvin absolutely just humiliated us. And let's hope this time it is going to be the other way uh, around. And I do believe Complex Stadium that we are going to boo against Locke and Galvin as hard as possible. And that's yeah, hopefully we're going to pull his pants down this time instead of us. So yeah, let let's hope that we can put on 40 points against the Canterbury Bankster Bulldogs there in round 7. Now up against the Seagulls here, we all know that our away record has not been the greatest there at Brookie there, but with Dylan Walker there now, and with our back line there being all sorted there, and if our defense can show some great signs against the Bulldogs at home, I am sure that our four pack can absolutely just dominate against this slow pace, atrocious Manly full pack there. Since I have lost some experience there, and yeah, they don't have DC there. Tommy Turbo is injury prone, and the backline players is the only thing that can be threatening against us. So yeah, good luck with that. And I do believe that we will get payback against them. And I do believe that Dylan Walker will have some unfinished business with them once again, just like on what he did at Quebec Stadium. So I am hoping he will do the same thing at Brookvale Oval. So yeah, now come up against the Warriors there at home. It is going to be quite easy, but you never know. The last time that we did versus the Wars, they absolutely just pulled their pants down there with a great four pack there. And I do believe after last season, with some Wars fans saying that, oh, we got robbed against Parramatta at 1 meter stadium there, I do believe that they will get some payback there, but I don't really see them threatening us that much because if Luke Metcalf does go down, well then, and if Moses is fully fit with Josh O'Carr scoring there previously against the Warriors there, and with our backline players there still being fully fit, then I think it's going to be an absolute field day for us since we all know that the Warriors' backline defense is not the greatest there. And if Roger Sheck, since we all know he is injury prone, if he is out for this match, I do believe that it's going to be a terrible time for the Wars coming to Combank. So yeah, I think this is going to be a very easy match here, and another easy match here, which they have. Well, sorry, no, it's away, and I know that our record is terrible at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, but I do believe that this is going to be the first ever time. I think since 2017 when we smashed them 26 points to 6. I do believe this is going to be the first ever time that we are going to put a thumping scoreline against them at Queensland Country Bank Stadium there. By maybe 20 points to 10 points, or maybe similar, or maybe we can score 32 points to maybe to 16. So yeah, because like the Cowboys' defense last year, that they were one of the worst ever defended teams in the competition in 2025. And if we can get our attack right, especially with Moses there, I mean, I can't really say too much because we all know that whenever this team is fully fit, when fully testing out our defense, getting a win against the Dogs, against the Seagulls, and against the Wars. And if our team can stay fully fit, which I know that may sound crazy since we did suffocate quite a lot of key players early on in season 2025. But if that can stay, if that can just be prevented for the start of this season, then I do believe that we will go through the North Queensland Cowboys for our ease away. And I know that may sound crazy, but I mean we have done it. We have done it before in 2017, and I do believe that we can get through it once again at Queensland Country Bank Stadium for the first of the time. So yeah, and we face up against the Melbourne Storm at home, 6.0. Whenever we do face up against Storm at home, it is quite a tight contest, and I do believe that we will just defeat them in a arm wrestle type of game here. I do believe that we will win this game maybe by 6 to 8 points here, and then we go into what round is this now? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We go into round 12 by a bye. Newcastle should be easy, but you but but you never know what can happen at Newcastle since they have pulled our pants down before. But I see us having no worries up against Dylan Brown himself, and I do believe that we are going to make Dylan Brown really regret his decision to leave Newcastle itself. So let's hope that there's still no injuries up until this rate. So fingers crossed, and pray to God that the injuries don't curse us once again. And the difficulty goes up by 5.5. Sorry, no, by 0.5 when we face up against the Bulldogs at Accor Stadium. And this is going to be a little bit of a tough game since uh, our record is a little bit how you going at our core stadium against the Bulldogs themselves, since they have been trying to upset us a couple of times, which they have. So I am hoping that we can break that drought there. I think the last time that we have defeated the Bulldogs there at Accor Stadium was in 2023, I believe. So yeah. So or I think it was 2022 or 2023, but either one. I am hoping that we can. Oh, sorry, no. I think the last time that we did defeat the Bulldogs at Accor Stadium, I might have to check that now. So just give me a sec. I'm gonna check up on NRL .com right now. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so 2023 was the last ever time that we have defeated the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and come up against the Raiders here. Full package depleted. We have smashed them at home in the past. But you never know with the Canberra Raiders. Sorry about that, guys. I have to keep my voice a little bit lower now since I have gotten a noise complaint from one of my family members, so I do need to move on. So I have to make this as quickly as possible. But anyways, um, so the last time that we have versus the Canberra Raiders. Oops, can you guys see me? Oops. The last time that we have versus the Canberra Raiders at home was, I do believe, it was in 2020. I might need to turn on my light for this. Sorry, guys. I think it was in 2017. I believe that we lost versus the Canberra Raiders at home. Again, someone had to come in. So yeah, the last time that we have versus the Canberra Raiders at home, it was in round. It was in 2017 in round 11, but we lost them 22-16. I do remember that. But the last time that we have versus the Canberra Raiders at Parramatta was in 2016 when we did smash them 36-6, just right before the salary cap situation thing did happen, and then it went downhill from there. And yeah, um, and now we're in 2026, and for the first ever time, we finally get to verse the Canberra Raiders at home after versing them twice at TIO Stadium, beating them, well, beating them twice, and then losing against them in the last ever visit. So yeah, but we don't talk about that anymore because because Darwin is extinct to us now. So yeah, that's in the past now. So that's all forgotten now. So yeah, um, yeah, um, so we should be able to defeat them by ease, since we have been always been versing them down at GIO Stadium. So for the first ever time, we won't be versing them at GIO Stadium for quite a while now. So it does take a little bit of a ease for us. we do take the bye, but then we come home against Souths where we do struggle nearly every single time against South Sydney at home. And for some weird reason, whenever they come to Combank Stadium, they always love scoring 30 or more points against us. I know that Wayne Bennett is getting old, and I know that his tactics are way past him now, and I know that he is way past his peak with his coaching tactics now at the moment. But still, um, I think I think we will try and just hold on for this win. I think we will get a little bit lucky here, but then we come up against Manly, we'll smash them, but then we will lose against the Sydney Roosters. Um, we get the bye there, and then we face off against the Panthers, which I think we might lose against the Panthers away in round four, to be honest, and then I think at home, we do defeat them. I know that I know that I did just talk about we need to show we need to show them on whose ground this is, but I don't think our team is always going to like stay fully fit because as we know, some of our experienced players are getting older, uh, like like Bolo, and many other players that we are hoping that won't get picked for uh, for our Origin this series. So if both Bolo and Mitchell Moses does not get picked for Origin in 2026, and yes, I know I am saying that Junior Bolo for my bold prediction will get picked for Star Origin in 2026 since Jason Rolls is making Junior Bolo play his peak footy again uh, um, as he is come up to that age where sooner or later he will retire for sure. But at the moment, he is enjoying his footy at the moment. Junior Bolo, especially in that international match against Tonga as well. As he put on that big shot on, I don't remember who it was, but yeah, um, he really showed the critics on why he is not past his prime yet. So yeah, watch out because Junior Bolo is going to come back in our Origin arena. But I do have fears that it will come back and bite us in the arse since we did not sign a forward player in our depth squad. So yeah, um, yeah. So West Tigers, that should be uh, a easy one. I don't know if we're going to defeat South Sydney away. To be honest, since it is during Indigenous round, I do believe so. I think we will struggle on that since we always seem to struggle in 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 Indigenous round. We will win against Cowboys since their record at Combank Stadium is absolutely atrocious. So I do believe that we will hopefully this time put 50 to 60 points against them convincingly, and not like last year where it had to come to a golden point. But you never, but you, but you never know with Parramatta doing Parramatta things. They like to make it hard for themselves for some weird reason. So yeah, for the Dolphins, 6.5. Uh, Unfortunately, I think we will lose against the Dolphins, and I think the pressure will go against us to try and get into the top 8 spots. Sharks will be a very tough game. I think it will be kind of a interesting game. I do believe that the pressure will come up against us. I do believe that Sharks will try and spoil the party at Combat Sam. So I do believe it is going to be a mid high scoring game for us. So I do see us maybe winning this by 10 points, but who knows? When we're not going to win every single game. And then up against the Dragons away, it's kind of like remind me of the 2009 draw in round 26, where sorry, uh, I have to go up for this. Where in 2009, we got our ass. Sorry, we we got our butts absolutely just kicked by St George themselves, and then we came back in the final series to absolutely just uh, get instant revenge against them at Cogra Oval. So yeah, let's see on how it goes towards the end. And yeah, well, speaking about that, these type of like matches like at the start, like up against the Melbourne Storm, Broncos, the Panthers, up against the Dolphins, South Sydney Roosters, especially against. I am hoping that we do break that drought against the Bulldogs there, since we haven't defeated them at Accor Stadium since 2023, and I am hoping that we do defeat the Storm there as well, and that the Cowboys don't cause a big upset. But I am for sure, since with the coaching issues uh, that, I'm pretty sure we should come through uh, with ease through that. But still, these are the type of matches like these ones over here, and then I'll say this one, that one, and then possibly these two, and then especially against the Panthers and Dolphins, and obviously uh, the Sharks and the Dragons. If we lose those types of matches there, and then we get all the wins, we do end up. I will do my. Uh, sorry, no. I will simulate it right now. So I'll be right back. So just give me a few seconds, and I'll just simulate the results for losing these types of games, but also winning the rest over here. Well, I just simulated our season, and I did, but still choosing these big games that I just said over here, losing about like how many games did I predict us to lose? I predicted us to lose about like 9 games, and yet we still make it to the top 8. But I still think that that we are still going to miss out finals football with some concerns still going in, and still not having high hopes for the hype of Joey Pesci coming in and just signing him just to get us to play finals football. um, there is one more thing that we still haven't solved yet, and obviously it's obviously with the trials coming out this week, and with our trial against the Sharks coming up next week. Obviously, I don't think that Jason Rolls is going to do it this preseason. This preseason, I think he's going to do a mid-season signing, just like on how he did with Dylan Walker from last season. And yeah, um, I got us missing finals footy in 2026, and I will go into that right now. Now, I posted out my 2026 ladder predictions over here. As you can see over here, you could just quickly just pause that and just read that. And yeah, it says over here that ninth place. I have predicted us right there, and I have made a quick video there saying on why I have predicted us to not make it to the finals. And someone did criticize me, saying that good luck, bro. You are not a true you are not a true blue and gold support. By me replying, a true blue and gold fan. Like, come on, man. Like, do you want me just to suck off the club of just being biased? Like, I'm not those type of people who are being biased and does back your team BS as the other content creators are doing. I won't mention the names, but I'm pretty sure you all know on who I'm talking about. But anyways, for any Parramatta fan to get upset by me putting us, this fan page team in in ninth does not make me a fake fan. I've been a fan since a kid, and I've seen um, high promises from the club itself, promising that we are going to end the drought. And it's been 40 years since I have ended the drought, and they still failed to do so in 2022. I know it was the Parent Panthers, and I know that they were in the prime, but um, we can all just moan about the robbery in the 2021 semis, but 2022 we had that opportunity to end that drought, and yet the club and obviously BA did not deliver, and the way that he just tactically just wanted the players to arrive to the stadium individually uh, was also another part on why the players' confidence was not up to the standard on how it was in the preliminary final against the Cowboys. So yeah, not ninth place. Now the reason why, in case if you haven't seen this video, ninth place, our forward pack. As I keep on repeating myself 1,000 times, there is not enough depth in there to fill out some of our injury players that I am having concerns about, especially if Junior Bolo keeps on playing great footy. I am a little bit worried that he'll be that good that he will return to the Origin arena, since New South Wales still has a diabolical New South Wales coach. So we all know that he is going to favoritism on experience in that. So I am very worried that he might pick Jim Bolo and stuff us up just like last season with Mitch and Moses, and with the club itself being very frustrated on how New South Wales were dealing with Mitch and Moses and his injuries and for his health. That he was out for most of the games that we should have won to possibly make it to the finals. And yeah, but I think if we can avoid this injury curse for our forward pack, if while if Bolo does get picked uh, for our Origin, then I do believe that we will just get that. Sorry, I do believe that we will prove that we we can put in a team effort without Mitchell Moses and without GM Bolo, and that these young blokes coming through can really just show the confidence and a courageous efforts throughout in the most important matches that we do need to win to make it to the finals for the first of time since we last made it to the grand final. So that's my little concern there. Can we overcome that? And can Sam Moa improve on the defense? which I do believe he will. Just a little bit. I know it is going to take time for him, but if he doesn't improve on the backline defense there in 2026, then we really need to ask some questions on Sam Moa's coaching defensive tactics there behind the scenes, because apparently to him, the players are performing quite well defensively at training, but when it comes to on-field performances, it doesn't execute on there. So we are hoping this time it can all gel together, and that we don't need to stress over any concerns, especially this team, and Samoa, to prove me wrong, and that's they can get all the training and the behind the scenes stuff actually consistently um, gelling in on the field. And if they can do that, then I do believe that we can maybe potentially get over the Canberra Raiders and the Cronulla Southern Sharks. But as I said, I am not going to keep my hopes high, since we do need to overcome the injuries and the reliability on Mitchell Moses, or either on Junior Bolo, um, on him being captain, or either go to Origin as well. And yeah, let's see. Let's see on how Jason Rolls can take on the challenge on his second year as a first grade coach. I do believe he will do a great job. And if we do manage just to miss out on the finals, just remember it's not the end of the world. He is not going to get sacked. I do believe that this is still a success in season 2026, and I do believe if we do finish ninth, that in 2027, if we do sign a forward, which I'm hoping for, in 2027, I guarantee you that we will do. Sorry, that we will make the top 8 in 2027 by no doubt and by no concerns at all. So yeah, moving on, so we don't brag on this episode for too long. Let's move on to the next topic. So, um, I have predicted our best ever team lineup in 2026. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to change a little bit over here. So I'm still gonna do my updated team list there for round one, straight after the preseason trials have finished for us, which which they will finish in 3 weeks' time. Sorry, no, well, technically, well, yeah, in 3 weeks' time, since we do need to watch the other teams do their trials this week, and then next week we play against the Sharks, and then we play up against the Roosters. I believe, I think it could be, against the Canberra Raiders. I have to check right now. So Witsa preseason challenge. So we verse against the Sharks in week 2 on a Sunday, 15th of February at Henson Park, which is in Newtown, and then we verse up against the Sydney Roosters. Yes, of course, at Gosford. So yeah, yeah. So Gosford, interesting there. With our SG board team versus them in the grand final last year, and obviously our women's pathway teams versus them, but we won't go into that. I'll stay on topic over here. So, anyways, yes, this is my best predicted team lineup at the moment. As I said, I will update this in the coming weeks. So we have a fullback, Isaiah Ilongi, Joshua Carr, Will Pansini, Brian Kelly, Bailey Simonson, Johnny Pizzett, Mitchell Moses as captain, and the goal kicker. Yes, I know that we have Sean Russell there still for one more season, but his goal kicking abilities are not the greatest conversion rates compared to Mitchell Moses, and I know that putting Mitchell Moses there is a little bit of a risk since he has some issues with his foot while goal kicking. So let's see on what Jason Rolls decides for the goal kicking duties in 2026 for us, since we no longer have Zach Lomax there. But I think that's a positive there, since his goal kicking rate for us was absolutely atrocious. For the fullback, Junior Bolo there, Riley Smith, Jermaine Hopgood there, still a prop there, Jack Williams and Charlie Geimer. That's absolutely lethal back row combination there. Jack DeBellin there, Dylan Walker, Matt Dory, which I do believe he is going to improve quite a lot from season 2025. Kition Katoga, also known as Kit Kat, Luca Moretti, Jordan Sam Riley as the 18th man to fill in there for the backline players. I know that some people may say put Josh in there, but I think at the moment I think it's right for him just to let him gel his time there in the 5'8" role in New South Wales Cup, and just get ready maybe for maybe uh, for a backup there, and mostly play more games in 2027. So yeah, I don't think we should risk him to start him as the on the bench, or either starting him somewhere in the first to 13 there, or even as the 18 man, since I do believe we should just leave him be with Lorenzo Talentar for those two to compete for the halves pairing in 2027. And yeah, let's see on how that goes in 2026 in the New Source Cup. So yeah, let me know, guys, on what do you think my best team list for the Premier Eels in 2026 at the moment, since this will get updated sooner or later in the coming weeks, right before round one against the Melbourne Storm at Amy Park. Okay, so quickly moving on here. Our next ever topic here. Um, I, I hate to I hate to talk about this topic here, guys. Uh, Let me just remove this. I hate to talk about this topic here, guys, but unfortunately, we have to talk about this topic here. Hopefully, for the last of time, I do believe that we still have to go to court with this guy. And speak about court, yes, I just spoil it there. It is Zach Lomax saga back at it once again, and this time, according to Kalaki's column there on Instagram, he has said over here the Storm have reportedly increased the transfer offer to 300K to acquire Zach Lomax. Despite this, the Eels have once again rejected the money, as they want a player as compensation, which means they want the player to be as value to be at the right deal as uh, as as a value, uh, as sign on the contract as Zach Lomax has agreed to. So they still are forcing the Melbourne Storm to give them a crap load of big money. Um, and obviously, if they can accept the money, maybe like over 1 mil in that, then they do want the Melbourne Storm to train back, since well, accepting the money, Zach Lomax is going to buy Zach Lomax. Sorry. Let me just repeat that. By Zach Lomax going to another club, I think it's right for the Melbourne Storm to trade one of their players um, to the Premier Eels. And if if the NRL and this whole RLPA boss bull crap wants to change rules and that, then those two can get absolutely just stuffed because this is private between Parramatta and the Melbourne Storm themselves, and this is something that's that's Peter Verlandis and the CEO of the RLPA should not be involved in the first place. All right. As I said before, these two people can get absolutely just stuffed. And please mind your own business, as this is supposed to be a private business deal between Parramatta and Zach Lomax to sort things out here and to make things fair for both of them and for Melbourne to break it up. I think the Melbourne Storm really need to up the value much more, just to respect uh, and understand the current situation of what's going on between Parramatta and Zach Lomax themselves privately. So that's my take on it quite quickly. I'm hoping that this is going to be the very last time that I do talk about this, since this is giving me quite a massive headache to talk about this in the first place. So yeah. Um, is there any other topics? Yes, we have one more topic. It's quite a interesting topic. I don't really talk about this type of topics here, but we will go through here, right now. So, uh, I am going to take a quick drink break, and I will come back to talk about our final topic of episode 30 of the Blue and Gold Army podcast. So, in this topic here, it's going to be a quite interesting topic here. It's going to be involved into politics, unfortunately, and it does have to do something with the board, but in the past over here. But unfortunately, our former CEO Roy Spagliano is back at it again, and I'm not sure if you guys have been I have been come up to date with this whole electronic voting system with all of the para league members now being sent throughout their emails there, that I do have to vote for either this absolute clown to come back in the chair place, or just to keep, I believe, the current chairman at the Paraleagues Club. But yeah, this is the former CEO, this absolute clown over here, who has taken the club backwards after our 2009 fairy tale run, and then in 2010 it went all just downhill from there. Like 2010, we still made finals, uh, but we still did not make it through there. And in 2011, we went from that to battling it for the spoon against the Gold Coast Titans. Yep, against the Gold Coast Titans in 2011. Then in 2012, um, we got in the one spoon for the first of the time, I believe, since the 1990s, and then 2013 we went back to back wooden spoon, and after that, 2014 was a fresh new year, despite Jerry Haynes still going to the NFL, and I'm pretty sure you all know the rest of the stories from 2015, and then at 2016 salary cap reach. So yeah, he did leave a little bit of a little bit of a little bit of a bad stain on the club during those type of years, and and he and he just wrecked the culture on what Parramatta should be. And yeah, um, it says over here during this article over here, slippery slope shadow of former boss looms over Parramatta again, as he has in the past, as I just as I just explained to you guys, but let's read it here right now. Former Eels chairman Roy Spaglino is backing a bid to unwind reforms introduced after years of bitter factionism at Parramatta in what the club's board say would be a backward step towards its dark old days. Members of Parramatta Leagues Club, which owns the NRL team, will vote this month on a proposal to dump postal and electronic voting for elections and to relax director eligibility rules under which Spagnolo can't run for a seat on the board. The property developer appears on a list of names and endorsing the changes along with a range of his relatives and associates. They include three other members of the Spaglino family, brother-in-law Dominic Sergi, friend Vince Lombardo, neighbor Ross Mitiga, as well as fellow former Parliament director Mario Libertini. So I do, I do believe that this guy has a Italian background, ethnicity, as from the sounds of it, and ex-club executive Bob Bentley and Tony Sankey among the other petition uh, petitioners. Former Soccer Australia president Tony Labazetta and Anthony Ange, the son of Pawn King Con Ange, and a candidate for election to the Parliament board. Pawn King, huh? Pawn King. Well, I cannot believe that we had like people like this running the board, like and former Australian soccer. Huh. No wonder why the Wanderers were getting better access first before Combank and the government were were getting better memberships there and also tickets wise there compared to what Parramatta would do when we first open up the stadium back in 2019, where there was this whole situation with the West Sydney Wanderers and the Parramatta Eels with the whole membership and ticket thing. I do believe so. Yeah. Think these are one of the previous boards that have left the stadium on there, and now our direction is finding a new foundation on how it should have been uh, a decade ago. So yeah, uh, but anyways, moving on. Club president Mark Jenkins, a former New South Wales Police Assistant Commissioner, wrote to members that the board viewed the proposal as an attempt to dismantle reforms that made our club strong, vowing Parramatta will not return to the dysfunctional that harmed our club. Spagnolo, who heard the board between 2009 who headed, the board between 2009 and 2013, believes they would improve governance and transparency, which they did not, at the West Sydney gaming hospitality and entertainment juggernaut, which has tens of thousands of members. Remote voting for club election and staggered terms for directors were brought in after Parramatta hit rock bottom with a salary cap rot that led the state government to intervene and place an administrator in charge. Those moves were intended to counter the ability of election tickets to gain control of the club by mobilizing a fraction of the membership base to attend its annual general meeting. It was under the regimen of multiple Eels premiership winner Steve Sharp, not Spangnolos, that Parramatta was found cheating the cap, resulting in a $1 million fine and a deduction of 12 competition points 2016, but terminated a tremendous error in the years leading up to the scandal, in which there were three regimes within 4 years that have been constant in fighting at Parramatta. It really takes us backwards, in particular the notion that people have to turn up to a club during certain times to physically vote. Jake said, what we done is bring availability to vote for all 65,000 of our members. Spagnolo said electronic and postal voting have made little difference to low overall engagement. At the board election in 2024, at which he finished third, missing out on the two available positions, there were 2,749 votes lodged. In 2009, when I ran, and there were people that were interested, 2,000 or more members turned up because they wanted change. I just think if you're interested, you turn up. Spain alone, I said, the federal government and state government don't have electronic voting. Spagnolo is unable to contest another board election himself after Paramount members last year approved a constitutional amendment disqualifying individuals from serving as directors if they have been deemed as not fit and proper by a relevant authority. The the petitioners are also pushing to remove that barrier, which would clear the way for the former chairman to put his hand up again in future. Spagnolo in 2015 was found to be not a fit and proper person to be a member of the governing body of a registered club by the Independent Liquor and Gaming Authority, which determined he had not adhered to proper processes in claiming expenses for parties at his house, and that he had authorized a bonus to then chief executive Bentley based on poker machine revenue. ILGA at the time also considered a more serious allegation that membership details of Spagnolo's friends and associates have been backdated to render them illegal to vote. But it said that while the the tampering claims warranted further investigation, they were not proven by the material before it. The authority did not impose dis- dis- disciplinary, sorry about that, action against Spagnolo, who was no longer a director by then. It could it and it concluded there was no reason to cast doubt on his honesty. He said they were technical breaches and he had only done good for the club. The Spagnolo Aligned Group also wants Premier League's club to establish an independent discipline, disciplinary disciplinary, I can't believe I can't say that word, panel to deal with issues of a league misconduct. Such matters are handled by the boards of registered clubs. The proposals are being put to members ahead of the Premier League's club AGM on February 24th. The Eels have been governed by a separate opponent only board since 2017. Discussing NRL team matters from Premier League's club, although it nominates two of the seven football club directors. So that is the that's the article itself, and yeah, the proposals are being out on February the 24th there, and yeah, since 2017, um, with the whole sponsor drama and that when we were separated by Deal Dam and that we did have to move forward there to get our Ireland there as a sponsor there, and they are our still our new sponsor there, alongside with Para Leagues Club itself. Since we have struggled to find some sponsors there with the whole club struggling to find some money there, but luckily in 2018 we managed to get Ireland as our main sponsor there, and up until 2020 there since we started to find more sponsors there, and then we started to go back to that successful early 2000s type of thing. So yeah, um, I am hoping that these absolute scumbags will be voted against too, which I am hoping to you Parramatta League Club members who are watching this video, please vote against these absolute scumbags electronically. If you do receive uh, a email throughout Paraleagues Club themselves, do not ig- uh, do not ignore it. It's not a scam. It is determined on how this club is going to be controlled and moving forward. We want to keep this club by still moving this forward, and I know that some people do not like Mark O'Neill. I get that with the whole us having the issue of landing key players like Keon Kilamatangi and many other players, but still you need to vote against these type of people that pulled back Parramatta on what made them Parramatta in the first place. So please vote against these scumbags electronically, and don't let them get you to vote in person, because uh, it's going to be much more harder, and it's just going to be absolutely just ridiculous, and it's not going to help for the fans and for the direction of the club and its legacy itself. So yeah, that's my take on it. So please, Paraleagues members, please do as I said, do not vote for these guys. We need to keep this foundation going, because this is how the club should have been decades ago, especially when Gus 10 or 4 year whatever plan was finally injecting in the Parent Panthers. So yeah, let's hope that we can catch up to the Parent Panthers and the Canterbury Bankers of Bulldogs and the Sydney Roosters and all those other clubs who have spectacular junior pathway systems, and that they actually use it, which I do believe that we are going to use more of this. Obviously, with our Jason Rolls coming now, and with Jim Saratinos, promising that we will keep this foundation going, and with Mark O'Neill fully supporting this. But let's not stuff it up right now by inviting these absolute scumbags who were tearing this club down in the dark ages. So let's move on from that, and let's hope uh, on February 24th that the Premier Leagues club can block this type of people, and that they can separate themselves fully forever against this type of guys. So yeah, let's hope that before the season starts that we can get sorted, and that uh, if we can vote against them, then yeah, I'm pretty sure um, as the season starts and for the rest of our future, we should be safe from all of this controversy and with all of the stuff that we have to deal uh, Spagnola's mess, and with the 2016 salary cap mess, which was a complete nightmare, since we still were adamant to play for points still. But yeah, um, that's it there for episode 30 for the Blue Army podcast. We have been running here for and a hour and 11 minutes, or no, 12 minutes now. As we hit there right now. So if you guys have enjoyed this episode here for episode 30, please make sure to subscribe and to like this this episode of the Blue and Garmin podcast itself, and make sure to follow all of our socials there on TikTok, Instagram, and also make sure if you are listening this sorry, if you are listening to this episode on Spotify and on App and on Apple Podcasts itself, please make sure to share it to every other Parma fan uh, or other Parma account or podcaster or a fan page in the Parma community itself. Please make sure to do that. And as always, blue and gold never folds, and go para.